Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. We're gonna talk about Moana 2 and Snow White. And Moana 2 was a big hit, even though it wasn't critically successful. And we know people that have seen it and they're like, yeah, it wasn't great, but it made a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. So the media, the mainstream media that has spent the last 5, 6, 8, 10 years standing for Disney, they're like, yeah, Disney finally got its groove back with Moana 2, but Snow White looks terrible. And
everyone's calling this out. Like everybody, the media is like all over. They're like, Snow White is a problem.
Yeah,
Snow White's a problem. They are not staying with Disney on Snow White.
Just dump it on Disney Plus at this point. I mean, that's what they did with Pinocchio. It was pretty awful.
I don't think they can afford to.
They can't afford to release it. I think honestly, fixing it, I think is probably the worst thing that is,
I don't think they can fix it.
Well, no, because they spent all the money on the reshoots, right? So it's like throwing good money after bad. You get to a point where you're like, this is not coming together. And back in the day, they used to just shelve movies that weren't coming together. It's like, it's going to cost us more to fix this movie than it would to just greenlight another movie that will make money, for sure. And that's where studios are right now. They can't afford to take these chances. But this might be the last big, like, hurrah for Disney just burning money. Well, actually, I think Captain America 4. I think Captain America 4 is not going to be
it's been saying that for a while, too.
But after these movies are kind of flushed out of the system, I think that Disney is going to course correct, or at least attempt to course correct. It would be in their best interest to not greenlight any more Star Wars movies until they have new leadership at Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk about the Snow White, brand-damaging Snow White. We're also going to talk about how the how the success of Moana 2 is a problem for the animation industry.
No.
What?
Who said that?
What?
I don't know. I'm like, oh my God. But we don't know anything about the animation industry. We're so full of shit. But we said all this is going to happen, and it did.
Yes.
Here's my butt. Kiss it.
So this is coming from a vetted media outlet, Fast Company, saying that it's a problem because Moana 2 was animated in Canada. Disney kind of under the radar set up a studio in Canada, and they sent a bunch of people up to Canada to work on it. They hired Canadian animators to work on it. And a lot of people in Burbank, my understanding is they did not know this was going on. I think the real reason Disney did this was to test the waters, no pun intended, to see if they could send animation outside of LA so they don't have to deal with difficult unions and difficult people. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna tell you. And yeah, they're in the middle of the renegotiations now with AmpTip, the Animators Guild, and I think they probably will get paid more, but there's not going to be as many of you, just like we saw with the WGA, just like we saw with AmpTip. We keep telling people this, and they keep.
But we're ageist and out of touch and don't know what the hell we're talking about.
It's like, no, you're young and naive, and
you still can't swing a dead cat without hitting a storyboard artist. I don't care if that pisses you off. It's just the truth.
So we'll talk about this all. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Check out clownfish-com. We got some merch out there. You can join the Plus Club. You can get some exclusive podcasts. Also, we mirror that content on clownfishtv.locals.com. That's my spiel. So let's talk about this first. It's coming from Variety. Disney got its groove back with Moana 2, but troubled Snow White could halt the momentum.
Yeah. And I'm agreeing with you, too. I think Captain America 4 is also going to halt the momentum.
Yeah, Captain America 4 is not good. I mean, it's just it might test audiences. Don't think it's very good. I don't think it's going to do very well.
Oh, this paragraph. Oh, kiss my ass. Fast forward to 2024, and Moana 2 marks the fulfillment of the two adjustments. A movie able to pivot from its planned release on Disney Plus and escape the wrath of right-wing influencers.
Oh my God.
Who believe the studio's been pushing a woke ideology. Hey, here's the funny thing, though. People went to see this one. What happened with Lightyear and Strange World and all those? I'm just, pointing that out there.
People went to see it, and it wasn't that great.
So it's not right-wing influencers. No. It's called the vast majority of people. That's how this works. Cry harder, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Plus, it doesn't matter if you're lean right or not. They label you right if you disagree with them anyway. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, the first couple of years of the channel, we tried to be like, well, we're not really bad people. We're just like, we're like middle of the road left. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we haven't changed. Our politics haven't changed at all. Mine haven't really changed much since the 90s, right? I'm still the same person I was back then. I voted for Clinton back then. I support Obama. And but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to be on board with whatever the far left ideology is, or you're far right.
Well, here I'll fix this sentence for them. Okay. A movie able to pivot from its planned release on Disney Plus and escape the wrath of the right influencers who said that this was going to happen.
Right. Yeah, it did 386 million worldwide. Wow. They appear to have gotten their groove back following misfires like The Marvels and Wish. Wish looked like a Disney movie from Wish.
Right, but I'm just saying, and that's just, I mean, you guys, there was, especially the Marvels, I mean, well, and things last year, we kept seeing more and more stuff that was like really pushing agendas and people didn't go. And it cannot just be the right-wing influencers. It's because the majority of people are like, this is stupid.
Well, this is interesting. I didn't know this. The first Omen and Alien Romulus actually did pretty well. They were actually intended for streaming first, and they decided to dump them into the movie theaters. But I think what happened was they realized that the streaming wasn't the pot of gold they were expecting it to be. And they're like, oh, we spent all this money on streaming projects and we're not making...
Yeah, well, they lost a lot of money last year and they're trying everything they can to make money back this year was what was going on.
Yeah, but I don't think dumping every streaming show, I don't think dumping Agatha All Along into the theaters is really going to work either. You know?
No, that's a show.
That's
a
show.
This next one, oh my God, the coping here. Though Disney at times has struggled post-COVID across its divisions, including Pixar, Lightyear, the live-action Little Mermaid, and Haunted Mansion. The ones that didn't do well last year, and I mean, The Little Mermaid was okay. Haunted Mansion was actually better than people gave it credit for. But it's not because they had to pivot away from narrative. Haunted Mansion didn't have narrative.
No, Haunted Mansion was actually, it was released at a bad time, and they didn't do it any favors with the marketing.
Little Mermaid didn't really have much narrative either, other than the fact that it just made her not white. But I mean, the movie itself, other than that, didn't have a lot of narrative. And it's always post-COVID. COVID. They said the idea that it's lost its mojo may be an overstatement. The studio was number one at the global box office from 2016 to 2022. Yeah, because, well, one, there was there wasn't the competition after COVID.
Yeah.
But two, they had all the big movies, like the ones leading up to it, like the live action ones, people liked them, and they had the Marvel movies and Star Wars stuff thrown in there. That's why. It's just this is the cope on this it's ridiculous.
So unlike those two films, which hail from studios that were acquired by Iger, Moana 2 marks a needed win for Disney proper. Well, this woman, again, was supposed to be basically a direct-to-DVD, direct-to-streaming. So despite the success, Disney began to surrender to the narrative with the likes of Peltz and Elon Musk critiquing the studio for pushing liberal values over storytelling.
Okay, I just want to point out again that when they actually deliver films that people want, people show up. I'm just pointing that out there. Lightyear was dog crap. No, it wasn't even about Lightyear. The whole thing they keep bringing Lightyear. There was one kiss in it, but they could take that out easily. It was about the fact that you went and did a Lightyear movie that wasn't like Buzz Lightyear at all, and it didn't even have Tim Allen in it. That's why people didn't go see Lightyear.
Yeah, there were a lot of... it wasn't...
significant screen time. It was very blink and you miss it.
No, there wasn't. Yeah, look, and then they're talking Russell Brand and this whole thing. Apparently there was I did hear something about this. It said Moana 2 didn't stray far from the original and didn't spark political outrage. That is key, because a lot of the people associated with other Disney projects, Star Wars projects, Marvel projects, they go out of their way to antagonize, kind of like Variety's doing right now. They're going out of their way to antagonize people. The blip came from the film's voice actress, Nicole Scherzinger, when Russell Brand posted on Instagram a photo of himself in a MAGA-style hat that read, "Make Jesus First Again." She replied, "Where do I get this hat?"
Well, how dare she?
Oh, my God.
And you know what? Honestly, until right now, I never even heard about this because nobody cared.
Yeah, they said it died down pretty quick. She deleted the post. I mean, if they had, just think about this. If they had told Rachel Zegler to shut up earlier...
But she didn't have to. But this woman makes that comment and has to delete the post.
Right.
But I'm saying, I didn't even hear about that. I don't think that had anything to do with it. This person is really, really reaching.
They're
reaching so hard.
They're like, okay, guys, so Disney's been doing better. They weren't really down and out, and it's really not that political. But okay, fine. I'm going to give you... Basically, we're defending Disney, but fine, I'll give you Snow White. It looks like dog shit.
Basically, yeah. They're saying that March's live-action Snow White has been dogged by expensive reshoots and controversies related to Zegler's social media posts. She declined to take down a tweet that said Free Palestine, but she did apologize for the fuck Donald Trump and made Trump supporters never know peace stuff. Meanwhile, Gina Carano got fired for doing far, far, far less.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Gina Carano would get fired current year. I don't think she would. And they definitely would not have blasted it or blasted her on social media like they did. And that's the real problem. It wasn't even that they're like, hey, we're not going to bring her character back. It was like they denigrated her on social media and said she said things or believed things she didn't believe. And then they basically tried to make her unemployable.
Yes. Yeah. And then make no mistake, I think that was Lucasfilm people.
That was Lucasfilm people. But this is like Zegler is actually going to help her win her case. Because they're going to be like, wait, she's saying all kinds of crazy political stuff and she's not canceled. You know? Mm-hmm. So it's not going to help at all. So they're basically saying that, yeah, they don't want to wade into the political waters.
Yes, but that's just because they realize what we've been telling people is if you keep pushing things too far, people are going to vote with their wallets. And they did. And that just means that not everybody who didn't go see these movies were bigots, because you're talking the majority didn't go see them. Yeah. But when you give them something they want, they come a running. Yeah.
That's just it. All Disney has to do, all they have to do is give people consistently good product. And that's one thing they're really lacking in the theme parks right now. We just saw the construction video of Epic Universe compared to the shack that they built in Disneyland for the Haunted Mansion.
And it looks like a barn with a little sign on it.
It's terrible. Yeah, it looks like a tiny house or something. And Epic Universe is going to blow the doors off it. But like all you got to do is give people good product, something they expect and stay out of the politics. And that's what this guy here is saying. This is Guggenheim Securities' Michael Morris says he's not talking specifically about Zegler, but he said, if I'm a company that's trying to connect with the broadest potential audience, and I cut that addressable market in half before I even release the product, I'm really limiting my ability to maximize the value of the product.
But that's not just Rachel Zegler. That's just what Disney's been doing.
That's what they've been doing. Why are your movies not performing, and why certain brands over like Star Wars? Why is Star Wars in such a decimated state right now? Because the people at Lucasfilm are far left activists and they won't shut the fuck up. That's why Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the product sucks too, but people won't even give the product a chance because they're like, I am tired of hearing from these people on social media. I'm tired of everything being drama.
And then not just that, I think a lot of people are like turned off by the dwarves. They're like, the dwarves look terrible. I don't even want to go because they look awful.
Yeah.
It goes on and on. But it's just like, this person's having a meltdown. But it's not because of right-wing, people on YouTube or, whatever you're blaming it on. It's because people in general because most people don't listen to those people either. If they're the vocal minority, then no one listens to them, right?
Right.
So then why you think it's all their fault? I love how you're the vocal minority and no one listens to you, but yet you somehow are the cause of everything that goes wrong at the same time. People in general don't give a shit about this stuff. They don't want it, but you give them something they want, they will come running. Snow White, nobody wants. Everybody is united on both sides and hating this thing.
Oh God, yeah, the ratio. I mean, it's like one of the most hated trailers. Might actually be the most hated trailer of all time. Now, does that mean it's going to be a massive box office failure? I don't know. I mean, some people are going to go like, "Oh, Disney Snow White. I'm going to go see it. There's nothing else to see. I'm going to take my cat." I don't know, but personally, I think it looks like nightmare fuel. And if our kids were little, I'm like, yeah, I can't see my daughter wanting to see this because. Mm-hmm. The dwarves are horrifying.
Can't see your son wanting to see it either.
No, just for so many reasons. So anyway, this is Fast Company. We're gonna roll around to this one. Yeah, well, you're welcome. No pun intended.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We did say this was going to happen. We said that if Moana 2 is a big hit, it's actually going to be bad for the LA animation scene because Disney's going to look at this and be like, yeah, we can make a ton of money and ship the jobs to other countries.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. So yeah, Disney's Moana 2 is a monster hit. Some in the animation industry aren't happy. Disney's development process for Moana 2 angered some animators who increasingly see jobs moving outside the U.S.
Yeah,
don't worry, your union's going to save you.
We told you this. We don't know anything about animation. We're just old people who don't know jack shit about anything. Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
It says, much as Moana 2's success underlines the vast public thirst for family-friendly theatrical releases, it also puts a spotlight on one of the critical issues U.S. animators are currently grappling with, and that is outsourcing. Oh my God, guys. Again, they cost less and they don't cause drama.
Yeah.
Right? So as the Hollywood Reporter noted earlier this year, the top threats to animation's future are a new problem and a rather old one. First and foremost is AI. They said that Sora have incited panic because, yeah, we're going to get to a point where you can basically feed a character design into AI and it can do most of the animation for you. Just say, hey, have this character doing this thing, whatever, or feed all the models into it. And yeah, you'll be able to do it. They can cough up footage in an instant that might take animators hours or even days to create. A January study surveying 300 entertainment industry leaders estimated that nearly 204,000 positions could be affected by AI over the next 3 years, including many in the animation.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd say animation is the most likely because real humans, it looks, you've got that uncanny valley thing going on. Like if you see the Coke Christmas commercial, it's like it looks right, but not quite right.
Yeah,
you can fudge it with animation, though.
And the thing is, though, like they reached a tentative deal to put some guardrails around AI. And I do agree that, you know, it needs to be used as a tool, not as a replacement.
Yeah.
You know, I do agree. Some people are obviously going to get gone. It's just the nature of the beast when there is a new advancement. But you lose some of the soul and the heart of it. And it's obvious, like the Coke commercial, if you don't have somebody like actually spending the time to do it correctly. So I don't disagree with them wanting to put, you know, conditions on AI. I agree with that. But the other thing is about, you know, they don't have any guarantees against is outsourcing because they can't dictate that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they've got this tentative agreement, and I must have missed that part. They said there's no protection against outsourcing. So this is one thing that held up the writers' talk with the WGA was they wanted a guaranteed number of writers in the writers' room. Basically, you know, I want to be paid to be there even if I don't need to be there because I'm a member of the union.
Yeah, but it didn't work. They got like 4 or something like that.
They got like 4, but they want like 12 or some ridiculous number. And that's what's going to happen here. You're going to basically have animators or directors / animators that can do the work of 10 people with the assistance of AI, or they can outsource more. And yeah, we said this was going to happen because now Disney's going to look at this and be like, oh my God, guys, we sent that one to Canada. Let's send one to India. Let's send one to, you know, Singapore. Let's send one to, we don't have to deal with the people in LA anymore. And a lot of them are a pain in the ass. I mean, they are. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, get what you can get, but also just the state of California right now is a disaster. It's a mess. And they're just going to look at like, yeah, we can do more for less. And that's what every studio is looking at right now. We can do more for less. Yeah, they said it's been going on since the 50s. Rocky and Bullwinkle got their inking and painting done in Mexico City. Yeah, most of the 80s cartoons.
I was going to say the 80s cartoons, a lot of them
Japan, they were animated overseas, right? Yeah, they said, let's see, there's a book on animation unions in 2006, drawing the line. Although the 1979 runaway clause technically guaranteed local employment before work could be subcontracted out of LA, studios found plenty of loopholes. Yeah, most of the stuff is, you know, it's done overseas now. South Korea, Vancouver, Rick and Morty. And
as I said, foreign animators go back up. Foreign animators can do it cheaper because of tax incentives and the lower cost of living.
Lower cost of living. There are some unions. I looked into it. I guess there is an animation union in Canada, but you know, I don't know how many animators are members of that union. If you send your actual animation work to South Korea, they could just kind of send it out the back door to North Korea, and they could send it to China, or they could send it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know where
they
it's
send it to China, and China sends it to North Korea.
They said, yeah, that's right. They sent it to China, and then it goes to North Korea. But whoopsie doopsie, we didn't know, right? But that's the thing. You send the work to a studio. You're not asking specifics. Where is the stuff actually being done? Who's doing it? Do you have a 12-year-old doing work, 16 hours a day? Just like when you send your work overseas to get manufactured, your products to get manufactured. You don't. I mean, some people do, but most people are like, "Hey, I can get these plushies done for you." And you don't realize there's like some 8-year-old slaving away in a line making your plushies at some factory in China that you can't even pronounce the name of. But that's how everything is made over here. And I'm not saying it's right. I actually wish more stuff would be made in the U.S. But
yeah, they're saying that Seth Rogen's Sausage Party was done in Canada, and they said, and it was a non-union company, and they said people complained about the unfair working conditions. They pressure artists to work extra hours for free, saying a legal loophole. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that that's what they're going to do. They're going to see Moana as a win. Yep. And they're going to do that more. And that's what we're saying. We're not saying that's the right thing to do. We're just saying this is what they're going to do. And it is probably what they're going to do.
Yeah, so what they told the animators, they said the Vancouver studio was reportedly conceived as a cost-effective way to focus on long-form series and special projects just for Disney+. But then they announced that they were going to make it a movie. And now they're going to look at that and be like, well, we did it once. We made a ton of money. Let's just do all of our movies.
Yeah, because they said they were told that it was only for Disney Plus and long form, and that the studios in California were going to be the hub for feature film projects.
Yeah, right.
And then they weren't, because they're not gonna. They're gonna do what's best for the company, not you.
That's exactly it. And we know already that Universal's sending more and more stuff overseas. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Puss in Boots. I think the first one was done. A lot of it was done in India, if I remember correctly. And people were like, "Oh my God," But then it's also like, how did this movie get done so quickly? Because they're talking about in the U.S. it takes 5-6 years to do a movie. And they're like, oh, yeah, this one we just kind of like in a year or two, we kind of put it together. I mean, it shows, but it's like that's what's going to happen.
Well, they're saying here, too, people are talking about how the original film, Moana, the first one, took 5 years.
Yeah.
And they're saying that this new process makes people feel like it looks like a TV show crammed into a movie, which is what our son said. He said it was okay. He said it was slow in parts. And you could definitely tell it was meant to be a TV show, not a movie. And he said it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. And he said you could tell visually it looks like, and the way the pacing was and stuff, that it was definitely not intended to be a movie first. They're talking about other animators are mad because it feels to me like Disney is trying to put out a TV series they turn into a movie, and they're trying to slap the Disney animation name on it and see what they can get away with. Another person said, he said now they're smashing records, and the incentives are obvious for Disney execs to pull a potential shift even more work to Canada.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
We told you guys this, and you guys go, oh, you just don't know what you're talking about. No, we do know what we're talking about. Anybody with half a brain could have seen this coming.
Well, that's it. You need half a brain, at least, to see this coming.
It's not hard, guys. It's not hard.
The people that are complaining the most about it are younger animators and just creatives in general who don't understand the business side of it. And the business side is, you're only useful when you're useful. And just because mom put your drawings on the fridge doesn't mean that the company you work for is going to have the same regard for your work.
It's a hard lesson we've learned many times over. Yeah. And when we do these and tell you guys this, we're legitimately trying to give you the heads up. But if you don't listen and want to be dicks about it, then you deserve what you get. Because we've been doing this stuff for a while, and we can probably see stuff coming that you don't see.
You can get comfortable, and you can get complacent, and you can get replaced, and that's what's going to happen to a lot of people. They're going to look up and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, guys, what happened? What happened? I thought everything was fine. What happened? I thought my union told me everything was fine. I don't understand why I'm unemployed. I don't understand why I'm working at Starbucks instead of at Disney. Oh my God, guys." Hashtag Clownfish was right. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.